Tomatoes movie chat is live. This week we are talking about Blair Witch 2016 and blah, 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 words ranking Coven of Sisters. So I married axe murderer. I'm not spelling axe wrong. Stop telling me to spell it AX, you fuck. 1993.
Are they technically correct?
They are, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Alright. I should have had this all pre-typed.
That just alone says, like, if both are correct, then stop telling somebody to do it one way instead of the other.
I think I got them all. I think that's all the movies we watched. Oh, Big Top Pee-wee.
Oh, yeah. Which was somewhat disappointing. Can't wait to talk about how, yeah, it's actually kind of a disappointing movie. There were moments.
So 88 or 89? Fuck. 88. Okay. Ooh, I need to use here. Images. Big Top Pee-wee. Cool. That'll work. Okay. Leopard Man poster.
Leopard Man.
Yes. Blair Witch 2016 poster. Oh God, I'm making a mess.
Stop that.
Can't. It's intrinsic to my person. Okay. We're almost there. I should have done this part earlier, but I'm bad at this, so welcome to the show. You all get to sit here while I do this. Alright. Tweet that. Mark that as red, because it's annoying to see the notification. Now I gotta put fucking... let's see here. Couch Tomatoes movie chat twitch.tv/skinslip with Stout. There. Okay. Okay, I'm still watching this guy do this. That's not what I want. I need to go to moderation. Skin slip. I hit the wrong button. Okay, everybody, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by. I don't know why I would accent. What's that?
Are you live?
Yeah, we went live this whole time.
Why? Twitch, why are you not letting me... Oh, there we go.
And we have all the settings. Ooh.
Thanks, Twitch. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, this week we had a very interesting, I would say, and we had a very interesting. Let me rephrase that. This week we had an interesting, not very interesting. Last week was very interesting. An interesting mix of movies. We had a movie from 2020, 1993, 1943, 1977, and 2016, and 1988. We got all over the gamut. First up, let's talk about Coven of Sisters, also known as Coven, from 2020. It's a new Netflix film.
That was a ridiculously good movie. Like,
there
were.
So it's about this.
I didn't like, but,
it's about these 5 friends who just like to prance around the forest and sing and be happy, and some horny ass inquisitor gets a hard on for them and like imprisons them, accuses them as a witch, And then
It's set in like Spain, right? Or,
yeah, after the Black
yeah,
Plague, correct.
yeah.
During the Inquisition, I believe, specifically. I think that was that. So I said we were watching it that it feels like it'd make a good double build The Witch, but actually upon like circumspect, did I use that word right? When I thought back about it, I think actually it'd make a better double build The Devils because
Yes.
it's got
Yes.
horny religious imagery all up in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I would
beautifully shot. I gotta say, oh my god, it's just a beautifully shot movie. It is a very grim film, but I don't think it wallows in misery like some films of similar genre. Since you're basically spending time with these girls while they're imprisoned and tortured, most of the time it's a hear don't see type torture. You just hear them and the reaction of the other sisters while someone's being tortured. So, but
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I would say I didn't like the cinematography all that much. I didn't think it was terrible. It was
Oh wow,
okay,
I thought it was beautiful.
but the set dressing, fucking amazing.
Oh, I
Very,
mean
very.
everything about it. The casting, those were all like first time actors apparently, and so like they did such an amazing job. And I
Mm-hmm.
fucking love the movie. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I gotta look. Um, yeah, gave it 8 out of 10.
It's one of those movies. It's great. It makes you hate humanity even more than you already did. You know.
If you hate men, you will hate men further after this movie because there's one very horny man that I fucking hate in this movie. Hate him with a fiery passion.
And there's like several instances. If you ever wanted to explain to somebody what circular logic is,
Oh my
this
god.
movie has several scenes where you can literally pinpoint, just take a 10-15 second conversation out and be like, this right here is the perfect fucking dictionary example of circular logic.
Who said I said you were a witch? Oh, is that why I'm imprisoned with the fucking Inquisition who have fucking tortured witches? Is that right? I'm assuming I'm here because you think I'm a fucking witch. Duh. But his circular logic is like, well, you must be of the Black Sabbath if you thought about the Black Sabbath and you know what the Black Sabbath is. I don't know what the Black Sabbath is. Then how do you know I'm talking about the Black Sabbath? Use your own fucking logic.
My favorite was like
It makes me so angry, that guy. Oh my god, that was part of the thing
my
that
favorite.
Paralyzed felt with the devils. There was a lot of circular logic with the
Yes,
Inquisition and that.
my favorite part was, or my favorite piece of circular logic was when he says, "Well, they say they're not witches, but we all know that witches lie, and therefore, since they must be lying, they must also therefore be witches." But it's like, wait a minute, if that makes no
It
sense
makes
if
no
you
sense
think
at all.
about it.
Yeah, it just makes me
Yeah,
angry. It's all it does. It just makes me angry. Like you said, if you don't like men, this movie will make you not like men, because they're just really cruel and capricious, and horny, and not in the good, fun kind of way. Horny in this movie. Talk about in this movie specifically.
yeah. Sorry, I was saying meow back to the kitty.
It is
Anyway.
dubbed, but it is I believe fucking. I want to say it's Scandinavian film of some sort. It's somewhere in the region of Europe. Of those kind of that region somewhere. I don't know exactly which country it was from. I did at the time because I looked it up, but I'm not looking at it right now because I'm smoking a lot of weed right now.
I do like that at some point it was like they knew what was going to happen to them anyways because there's no way they're going to get out of it or whatever. And so they all essentially just buckled down and decided, you know what, fine. You think we're fucking witches? We're going to give you the fucking witchiest show you can fucking imagine.
Right?
And it was just beautiful. That scene, I don't want to give anything away, but
Well, it's like
there's a scene. There's a scene.
like a big problem with those Inquisitions where they started with you're a witch. Now let me find all the reasons why you're a witch, as opposed to are you a witch? Let's find out. You know, under the guise of are you a witch, of course, because they're foolish. I hate them.
It's like, do you have any? They assume that you're a witch first, and then they try and find evidence to back up their claims.
Correct.
They actually show that. Like, they talk about that. They talk about doing that intentionally in the fucking
And
film.
I have to
Which
say,
is just another reason why you hate these people.
it's also a problem in policing in general. Not to get political, but that's a big problem that a lot of subpar policing will do is they'll make an assumption about someone and try to find all the evidence to fill that circle in, ignoring all the stuff that might counteract it. It happens. It's fucking bullshit. But
I also love the subtle indications that there might be something actually going on with the older woman of the
oh yes, yes.
church there.
Oh yeah, she renounced her habit at the end. That's why she took that off. She saw what was happening and didn't like what was happening, and so she is no longer a part of the church. She resigned basically with that. It's a really subtle moment. She passes it on to her younger compatriot, which is what her compatriot was there to learn to take her position anyway. She basically said, "I'm done with this shit," and gave her the fucking hat. Like, you're the boss now. You know. I fucking love this movie. I will probably watch it again, and if I can find a Blu-ray, I will definitely buy said Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, same here. 8 out of 10 is absolutely the correct score. It's a
I don't think there's a wrong score.
Yeah.
It's a score you agree with, but yes.
Yes.
Some people are not gonna like this movie, and that's fair. But next, we watched a verified comedy classic, So I Married an Axe Murderer from 1993, starring Mike Myers. No, not everyone's favorite slasher, the other guy. Yeah, that guy. You know, that guy.
You know, the one from Shrek, which is in the
Yes, Shrek himself, exactly. This is probably one of his best movies, though.
Did you know, by the way, that Shrek is in the National Film Registry?
Oh yeah, I'm very aware. It is of apparent significant cultural value to the United States. It makes sense, of course.
Okay. It does. It's just funny.
It's not. No, it's obscene and ludicrous, but like whatever. Like Shrek's not a bad movie. It's just I don't know. It's just not. I don't know if it's like the most important film to preserve.
Right. It's like, are you really saying it's as important as, say, Casablanca?
Are you saying it's more important than another movie that's more deserving to be saved? Is the other thing I'm thinking. You know, like there's probably like also, a dozen like much better movies that deserve.
Does that movie need to be saved at all? Like.
Yes, I think it does need to be preserved, but I mean, I just think that there's a list of operators, and there's definitely some other movies I'd rather preserve first.
It's a fairly new movie. You don't need to worry about preserving it yet. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
That's true. That's the other thing. Is there's a lot of older movies that probably deserve better and more immediate preserving, but Shrek took that spot. And the reason they do that is because it's high profile and gets people to talk about the film preservation.
Right enough about Shrek.
A woefully underfunded portion of our government. Our cultural preservation, that is.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
1993.
It was one of my favorite movies. Not, I wouldn't say growing up, but in teen years and beyond and whatnot. I did watch it a few times when I was younger. There were a lot of jokes I remember not getting at that time because I was younger.
There's a lot of really dark jokes in this movie, and I was like shocked at how dark it got. Like, oh,
yeah.
I like.
One of my favorite scenes though is the scene with Phil Hartman where he plays a park ranger at Alcatraz.
Yeah.
A former, I think he portrays a former, like somebody who used to work at Alcatraz formerly when it was still in service.
Yep.
And just like the deadpan, he was one of the best deadpan.
The best. So good.
Comedians.
An absolute tragedy he was taken so soon.
Yes. Speaking of deadpan, we also have what's his name? The guy who played the pilot in this movie.
Dude, I'm really honest with you. I really like this movie while we're watching it, but I can't remember anything other than we've got to pipe it down. I repeat, the pipe it down. I don't know, my brain's terrible like that. I remember him like dangling off the roofs and thinking that was cool, but like it's not like a bad movie. My brain just does not remember things sometimes.
Stephen Wright.
Oh
Stephen Wright
yes,
plays
Stephen
the pilot.
Wright. Wow, yes, that guy's comedy was very deadpan. Yes.
He's also a king of deadpan, and he plays it perfectly because
Mm-hmm.
the guy who's Charlie's friend in this, the main character's friend in this movie, he's flying in a plane trying to get to Charlie to save his life, right? And he's freaking out because he's like in the plane in the middle of a fucking storm, and the guy's talking to him, and the pilot is played by Stephen Wright. And at one point, Stephen Wright he's like he fell asleep while he was. What are you doing? Wake up! Land the plane! Land the plane!
Oh my god, the movie is so funny. What I do remember is I saw this in a drive-in, and it was a double feature with Death Becomes Her. I was like 13, 12, whatever. Like I could not appreciate this movie when it came out the first time. I appreciate it a lot more this time, obviously.
I love the father, who is also played by Mike Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good man, shall we say, but pretty fucking funny and a spot on interpretation of boomers nowadays. I'm just saying. Like, it's ahead of its time in terms of the whole boomer shit. Because you got the mother who literally refers to the weekly world news as the paper, the news, right? Like, it's.
I'm gonna mention that actually.
True, real facts, right? Gee, what does that sound like nowadays, right? You got the father who is very I don't want to say bigoted, but he treats his son like shit for sure. He talks shit about his son a lot, and that's one of the funnier aspects of it actually, because he's got good jokes. But he also he's like a conspiracy nut. Yep. He goes off on this fucking conspiracy about the Meadows, the secret pentaveret of people who control the country.
What's a pentaveret? I can figure that out.
It's the group of people. But yes. The Rothschilds, the Gettys. I can't remember.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear someone bring those up, you just shake your head. You gotta shake your head like, oh, that's some conspiracy level shit.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what does that remind you of? It reminds you of a certain class of boomer nowadays. I'm just saying. Not all boomers, by the way. Hashtag not all boomers. But a surprising amount of boomers. I'm just saying.
What is a group of boomers called?
Oh, man, I don't know.
A base of boomers?
God.
A crotch of...
Not a gaggle. Definitely
a crotch of boomers?
No. Both of those sound way too cool.
So yeah, I remember like it was like a part. Yeah, was that the movie when they? Is that the movie where the cops start shooting at him? Or was that a different movie? I think it was a different movie.
I think it's a different movie.
Damn. All right, never mind. I lost my thought. Moving on.
I think it still holds up. I don't think it's necessarily as good as I remember it being back in the day.
Better than I remember it. I didn't get any of the jokes back, like any of the really dark jokes. Really, I thought it was just a weird movie
honestly,
back then.
I think it's just that it feels a little slower to me, and I think it feels a little slower to me because I know all the jokes by heart. So it's like, you know. But it's not actually slow. It's just I know it too damn well. Yeah. So yeah, old classic. For me, at least, it's a classic. It's not that old, but classic from my childhood.
I just
And,
grew 10 years older just now. You called that old? Oh, damn it.
yeah. Well, then I said no. Actually, it's not that old. But another one of these '90s movies. I can't stop watching these fucking weird '90s
You're
movies.
obsessed with them lately.
I don't know.
You're allowed to be. Next, we watched the Leopard Man from 1943, which is a proto-slasher produced by Val Lewton, part of the Val Lewton collection on DVD, and I believe he's got Blu-ray from Screen Factory right now. This has that same famous scene where the daughter's being begged to be let in, and they won't let her be let in, and she gets killed outside the door. That's where this movie comes. That scene comes from. This movie.
If you love me, let me in.
Yeah.
She does not. Spoiler.
And you just see the blood under the door. Like, so it's such a tragic ending for the character.
Yeah. But God, that her mother was such a god damn.
I know, right?
I don't like that mother. I don't like her at all.
That poor girl was
Are you
mistreated.
serious? You're going to send your daughter out in the middle of the night to get some fucking food that you have to go all the way across town to get. Like, nowadays, would that ever fucking happen? And why did it ever happen then? Like, were women suddenly less likely to be stalked and hunted down by fucking dangerous men back then? I'm confused. You know?
So, what happens is a leopard escapes because this this really annoying, obnoxious lady decides to, like, rattle in the cat's face and it spooks it. And then that triggers a serial killer to use, like, this panther claw to, like, murder people. Basically. His leopard paw. Anyway, oh, hi, Skeletor. So,
well, whenever I try to pick her up, she gets real low to the ground to make it even more difficult.
yeah, she doesn't want to be picked up. No, cats generally don't like being picked up. Some of them like it, but most cats I've been trained on really don't like it that much. They tolerate it. My cat tolerates it. She doesn't like being held at all. All right, so this is the movie came out after Cat People. It's got a lot of the similar plot points as the whole, like, panther leopard thing. This is like, what was it about this? There was something about this that made it slasher, and I'm blanking on it. We were watching it and, like, oh, was there this? What?
I thought it was just like the blood coming through the doorway kind of scene there.
No, there was something else that happened in it. And like, oh, that's why it's a proto-slasher. Because the proto-slasher is usually just a film that has a similar plot structure to, like, a slasher film. In this case, something happens and now this guy's killing a bunch of women, and like, you know, they have to have just an element of one of the slasher genre because it's very formulaic after
it kind of came toward the end with the guy that I don't want to give anything away, but there's a guy that throughout the movie is starting to sound real fucking sus.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's that scene in the graveyard. I would say kind of fits that too. The woman gets locked in the graveyard and she can't get out.
Oh, right. And then the guy has to go get the ladder, but it's too late. Right. Yeah. There's something about that specifically was like that's why it's pro slasher. Things like that keep happening in these movies, and I don't make notes because I'm bad. There's like a minor bus scare in here, which, if you don't know, bus scare is a mundane a sound that sounds like the monster or the killer, but ends up being something mundane, and it scares us. It's from the Cat People, and, like, this character's walking down the street, and she thinks she hears the panther, the big cat, roaring, And then out of nowhere, boom! It's a bus, and she gets scared. We get scared because it's a jump scare. It's an early jump scare. This is referenced in Final Destination, I think number 1 or 2, where this lady steps off a curb and immediately gets hit by a bus. That's like a reference to the bus scare.
That's what I thought you meant when you said bus scare the first time. I didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
I thought you were talking about what happened in Final Destination. I didn't know it was a reference to anything.
Hi, people. 1942.
Oh, there you go. I love the noir influences.
Oh,
in
that's
this
right.
movie.
That's what it was. There's a direct connection from noir to slasher films, and it's not giallo but it is giallo, but it's also this specific movie, which is shot like a noir and structured like a slasher.
You got to remember, this is 1943. The first real noir movies came out like 1940, 1941. Right? Like one of the first ones was Maltese Falcon. The Maltese Falcon. I think that was 1941.
Never seen it, actually.
1944, you get Double Indemnity. So this was right in the middle of like when they were really getting into film noir, and film noir was inspired by German expressionism, at least when it came to the cinematography of it. And if I recall correctly, the same director, the guy who did this movie, The Leopard Man, also had worked on other films that were either German expressionist
Nightfall
in nature or noir influence.
He did Cat People, I Walk with a Zombie, Leopard Man, Out of the Past, and Nightfall, which is
Out of the Past. Out of the Past is a classic noir movie. So that fucking tells you right there. It's Robert Mitchum.
He did that 4 years later, in fact.
He was absolutely a noir guy. Like,
oh yeah, I don't disagree with you.
And that influence of the noir, even though it was early on, had that movement.
I made a tweet about noir and slasher being connected. You know.
Yeah.
But like
they are.
Right. I mean, obviously, right,
this
movie is the very clear, direct delineation between those two things, and giallo was side by side with this, like, a few years later.
Yeah, giallo came later, but giallo was inspired by, I would say, noir and proto slasher, stuff like that. You know?
Well, yeah. Complex, but yes. It's more of a web than a line.
Well, it's also...
That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like connections back and forth between genres.
Like directly inspired by the quote-unquote dime store novels that they had over there.
Print on yellow paper, which is called
other culture
giallo. So that's why the genre is called that.
So it's not like it directly came from just noir or just this or just that.
Nothing just has one inspiration.
Like you said, it's a web.
Yeah. And it connects back and forth between each other, and it's complicated. Like, so I can say that statement, and then there's a statement that may seem contradictory, but could also be true about it. And that's what I like about film. It's so complex. It's so simple but complex.
Yeah.
Next, we watched Mario Bava's Shock, which also known as Beyond the Door 2, which is a rip-off. The original Beyond the Door is a rip-off of The Exorcist. Came out like 9 months after the first one.
I was going to say, wait a minute. This movie had nothing to do with Beyond the Door.
No. And Beyond the Door 3, which is also known as A Muck Train, has nothing to do with either of these two movies. It's just a marketing thing. First two are Italian. The other one's done by an American or Canadian director. I can't remember. Maybe a French director. A Muck Train. It's Vinegar Syndrome put it out as Beyond the Door 3. So now Blue Underground has to respond and put out Shock under Beyond the Door 2, so you can have a matching, or at least a reversible cover, so you can have all three of them on the shelf in order.
I'll tell you what, I would get this movie on Blu-ray. It's a good movie. I liked it.
It's well shot. This is the last film by Mario Bava. It is rumored that Lamberto Bava had a hand in helping film it. Could not confirm that.
he was
I read it somewhere, but I couldn't
obviously
remember. I couldn't
involved
find the
with something.
source. You know what I mean? Like I know I read it somewhere, but I can't find the source. So
Well, if you look on IMDb, I believe that he's listed as like one of the directors
it's a
because Mario
second
Bava.
unit or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he
But
did other stuff on the movie, so it's like he was very
hmm
significantly involved. You know?
but yeah, Buffy's family moves into a house, and the kid gets possessed by the ghost of their dead father, his dead father. There's some really weird,
It's
like really creepy incest imagery here, with this weird scaly
yes,
hand of the kid trying to grope the mom. Kind of weird. Mm.
yeah. It's kind. There are some moments that's very confusing because you're sitting here thinking to yourself, okay, what exactly is going on? They're clearly taking the approach of like visual storytelling, trying to tell the story through what you're seeing, which awesome. But it takes a while to, put the puzzle pieces together. Longer than I think most audiences would be comfortable with.
hmm
Most audiences might actually walk out and be like, well, I can't make heads or tails of what
Or
the
they
fuck's
think it's
going on.
boring, which
Yeah.
I don't think so,
So,
but I can understand.
but there is a point where it becomes clear that, okay, this is what's going on. It's kind of a haunting tale. This new guy is a new guy. He's not the father that was always there. He's the new father, and yeah, it becomes way more clear that there may be some kind of a haunting going on that the father might like. The implication is that the dead father, is um, taking over the body of his son, basically. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh yeah, you did say the
making
alternate title of this should have been "Death by a Thousand Cuts" because the lady just keeps getting cut a little bit.
that's another thing that happens. I liked in this movie. Actually, it's just like, not that I like seeing a lady getting cut a lot, but
to be
that's what
clear.
I like. Yes, I just like the concept of like somebody, uh, regardless of gender, mind you, somebody just in a horror movie is just cut once. Oh, it's a small little cut, no big deal. Later on, cut again. Later on, cut again and again and again and again, over and over and over again. Eventually, they've just been cut so many fucking times that they end up dying from blood loss. I like the idea of that. That's not exactly what happens in this movie,
Mm-mm.
but you do see the mother getting cut multiple times in this movie, just multiple times.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely an
that's
imagery
why I
that we
said
see a lot.
getting killed by death by a thousand cuts here.
hmm
And for a long time, that is kind of what it seemed like they were going for. But yeah, I wouldn't say that was. I mean, maybe it was partially intentionally done that way, but I don't think that was really the intention. It just kind of
Yeah, I don't know.
worked.
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah. But I think it really has the feel of uh, one of the better Mario Bava movies that I've seen, at least. So um, I enjoyed
Yeah, let's
it.
see here. We've seen a few of his movies together. Let me check here. I've only watched movies of his with you, so it's like I think maybe I've seen one. Maybe I've seen Planet of the Vampire, which I don't think I saw with you. But yeah, we saw Black Sunday, Bay of Blood, Black Sabbath, Kill Baby Kill, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, and now Shock.
Kill Baby Kill is absolutely my number one. Kill Baby Kill is. I can't wait to watch it with a friend of ours.
Oh, did we get
Yeah.
that for him?
Yeah. I'm gonna make him watch it
I'm
with us because
dying to watch it again. So,
it's so good. Um,
so
this though, I also wanted to add, this movie Shock has elements kind of borrowed from Edgar Allan Poe from the Cask of Amontillado.
mhm.
I think it's the Cask of Amontillado.
yes, the Cask because the brick wall.
Yeah, brick wall. It's like somebody maybe still living behind a being that was buried behind a brick wall, So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, definitely, it definitely takes inspiration from that. Now, I did read this was like Mario Bava's kind of reflexive reaction to the giallo genre, I guess. I don't know how that would be. And I didn't really. Well, I knew that going into the movie, and I still don't see how someone came up with that. So I would definitely want someone to explain that to me, please. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just want an explanation so I
yeah,
can understand.
yeah. Like, where did you come up with this
Yeah.
analysis?
Like I believe you. Please explain so I can also understand you.
Yes.
Um. Next, we watched Blair Witch 2016.
Which was a pretty damn good movie. I don't know why people hate on this movie. Like,
Mm,
what's wrong with it?
I think a lot of people have a problem with the way the Blair Witch looks in the end of the movie.
With even just seeing the quote unquote seeing the Blair Witch, you know,
Yeah.
them showing something that looks like it could be the Blair Witch or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like, you know, that's something you didn't have to show in the first movie, and it's something you didn't have to show in the second movie, and it's something you don't have to show now. But they chose to do it.
I think that's the biggest
Maybe
problem people had, and that's my biggest problem with the movie, which is why this is
yeah.
make an 8 out of 10, which is a pretty good found footage film. I like found footage genre, so I'm not.
I want to.
I like some of even the mediocre ones. I like a lot. So
I want to submit a theory though. I don't.
okay.
Here, when I was watching this movie, I was immediately struck that a lot of the imagery that I saw in this movie, because I watched this movie before I watched the new game that just came out like a couple years ago or a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because the movie came out first. The movie, or the game, I should say, was clearly in a lot of ways based upon this movie, because there's a lot of imagery in this movie that you also see in the game. And one of the things you see in the game are these creatures that are not unlike what people uh, say is the Blair Witch in the movie. But the way they put it in the game, the way it makes it look in the game, is that these are not the witch. These are like the helpers of the witch, the coven or whatever. They're people who, they're creatures who help the witch in some way, shape, or form. But what I notice about these things, and about whether it's the Blair Witch or not, what I notice about this creature is that it kind of looks like what a skinwalker is depicted as in these, uh, you know, circles of people who believe in these weird creatures, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it did kind of remind me of the Skinwalker from Until Dawn, a little bit.
yeah, so
I'm
it's
not.
like,
I'm not keen on the
is that really?
monster. I'll be honest.
I don't know if it is really the Blair Witch. What I do, it would make sense for it to be though, because earlier in the film,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of explained that when the Blair Witch was hung, she was hung with like um, rocks around her ankles, so that like she would also die from like being stretched out, basically all this. And if you look at the body of the creature in the movie, it's
Right.
really elongated, stretched out body. So
Like I
it
get
would
that.
make sense for it to be the witch. It also could not be the witch. Who fucking knows?
So
But
I would say what I do like about it is that the house is sort of like a time trap, and you go in and out of different time periods while in the house. And I
I
like
think that's a
that.
very
That if you,
valuable.
I like that addition that you stand in the corner, the witch can't get you. Which implies
Well,
that's what. Yeah, that's kind of implied, and then it means that like Heather was in the corner in the first movie because she was trying to hide from the witch, and she'd probably been there for a while, even though she flickered in and out of our time. Anyway, I gave Blair Witch 2016 7 out of 10. I thought it was really good. A lot of people really crapped on this super hard, and I think it's better
yeah,
than
that's
most.
what I.
It's better than the average found footage film, so it's a 7 out of 10. It almost made 8 out of 10, but I feel like it showed too much. That's all.
There are elements that kind of annoy me that I don't necessarily like about this movie,
Right.
but it's by no means terrible.
No,
People
not
act
even.
like it's a terrible movie. There's no. You need to broaden your horizons if you think this is a terrible movie. You ain't seen nothing yet if you think
I
this
have seen
is
so many
terrible.
worse movies in the last month, much less.
And what I would say, I think it's actually like maybe less than a 7 out of 10, but I still like it, and
You
I
like you
think
and
that
different at ratings, fine. You know.
the game, which is somewhat based on the movie, is actually a little bit better, honestly. Story wise, and everything you see in it, and the way it develops, and everything, I think is way more scary, way better concept than the movie it's based on. So, if you haven't at least seen the game, I'm not saying you have to play the game, but if you haven't seen it, you should probably find somebody playing it on Twitch and watch it at some point. It's good. Or wait for Sean. I know he'll play it at some point. Zero Nazareth
That's what I'm waiting
probably
for.
play it at some point.
Because
You
I
have
know
to
he's a huge fan. So.
pressure him to play that at some point in the next few months, for for his Halloween content.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. So next we watched Big Top Pee Wee from 1988, which I saw a bunch of times on VHS as a kid, way back in the 90s. So yeah,
I had never seen it before.
it's a bit outdated with its references, but it is 1988, so we don't hold that against the movie. We just go, oh, good lord, really? That's all we did. We did it
Yeah.
a few times, and we're like, oh, good lord. Like,
Um,
oh my god, such low hanging fruit too. But it's
yeah.
like, it's not a bad movie. My favorite part is the hot dog tree. Can I be honest with you? 'Cause that's fucking
That's the part you remembered the most from
yeah,
when you were a kid.
exactly. It's the thing. Biggest thing I remember from this movie is the fucking hot dog tree. It kept growing and shrinking and shit. It was so cool.
What's odd to me is that they show him using the potion or whatever that he's using to grow the hot dog tree. Uh, the last time they show they show him doing it that the hot dogs shrink, right?
Hmm.
They never explain what happened
Right?
that caused them to shrink.
I know.
Never is it even brought up again in the movie. There's
Just a visual
no
gag.
reason for that to be a film. It's just a visual, yeah, other than being a visual gag.
That's it. That's it. The only reason why those two scenes were in the entire movie. They could have left the hot dog tree completely out of the movie, and you would have never known.
Mm-hmm. So why is there a hot dog tree in this movie? Who knows and who cares? It's a Pee Wee movie.
We're talking about it's got like a timeless feeling, like Big Fish, because it's like there's all this outdated technology, but then there's also like a fucking hand scanner for his laboratory and modern lab equipment and shit.
I was also mentioning that no money is ever exchanged in this movie. There's no mention of money. There's no idea that money could possibly exist in this universe. Money is not a thing. It's almost like they live on a barter system or something like that. It's like they're communists. I'm gonna be honest. It's a weird amalgamation of like down middle America, right? Middle America and a communist country that has never existed because no
Right?
quote unquote communist utopia like that has ever existed. It's just
Because humans.
for some reason it exists in this middle America movie
It's so
where
weird.
money
though.
doesn't exist and
You're
nobody
right.
cares whether or not they're being paid for something.
But yeah, like, there's like the carnival comes to town, and Pee Wee's girlfriend breaks up with him because Pee Wee's being a complete douchebag, I might add.
Yeah.
Absolutely deserved to get broken up with. And then he starts hitting on this girl in the circus, and it's like, what is going on? Pee Wee's a complete asshole. No one should like Pee Wee. He's great in the other movie. I don't know why people like him in this movie. He's a jerk.
To be fair to Pee Wee, The movie's obviously showing you how he doesn't really get along. It's not a perfect match between him and his current
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, right? They show you that several times, and then they show you how actually it's kind of a perfect match between him and this other person,
Right.
right? So you can see that, but also that doesn't forgive him for being an asshole and doing what he does immediately. It's like,
Right.
okay, first you politely break it off with the one person, and then you can move on. Yeah, there are ways to do this, but then
There was a bit of slut shaming too. That was I remember that.
oh,
With the they were like trying to imply that his ex was a slut because she wants to be with an entire group of people. Like, so what if she wants to be polyamorous with like 5 boyfriends? It's her fucking business.
now that's another thing about this movie. It's like it couldn't decide what audience it wanted to have. There
Mm-hmm.
are several moments where it's like, this is definitely an adult joke, and then the rest of the movie is very, very,
Kid friendly.
kid friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
So
vacillates wildly. And I wonder if there's another
it's
cut
a
of this
very
movie somewhere. Release the Pee Wee
I mean,
cut.
I expect Pee Wee Herman to be a strange movie no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a different kind of strange than Pee Wee's Big Adventure, which I maintain is the superior film. I had no idea
It's
that
great.
this movie even existed until like the early 2000s.
Wow.
So uh,
But yeah,
I
Pee Wee's
only
Big
ever knew about
Adventure is of course
yeah.
a fucking classic. There is a reference to that movie in this movie with the tequila moment. While he's doing a tightrope thing,
Yeah.
and he stops for a second, and there's the tequila, that whole dun, 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 dun moment.
Yeah.
Just real quickie, and then fucking crotches himself on the rope immediately after. But you know,
Paging Dr. Herman.
oh
I'm
god,
sorry. It's not in this movie. It's in Big
yeah,
Adventure.
it's in the better movie.
Tell him Marge sent you.
Oh man, yeah. God, there's just it was such a weird mix this week. And we're having a shorter show this week because of it. It's like last week there were just some like really strong opinions about the movies, and this week we're like, yeah, this one's alright. Like where you're not gonna watch a struggle for the next 40 minutes
Yeah.
to fill the gap and entertain you. Because we just went through all our movies.
It's true. We still need to see the Hello Kitten. We still need to see the Pee Wee's Holiday. I haven't seen that.
I haven't either. I also sent you a link for getting Steel Manville Road, so you can watch that.
Oh yeah. Still need to see that.
If you
too.
got
I won't see
if
that.
you got J Downloader, those links work in J Downloader, just so you know. Hi,
I keep
Skeletor.
trying to tell people the majesty of Bad Ben, and they're like, "No, that movie sucks. It's terrible." I'm like, "But it's
I loved
hilarious."
it. It's so silly. What the what? Knock it off, god damn it!
God damn it!
He's just fighting a ghost with a chair, and it's just like, and the ghost gives up after he says that, which is like baffling to me. If I was a ghost, I would fuck with him even harder. Just get him to say "God damn it" more. He doesn't say "God damn it" enough. So now we get to see the movie that he intended to make, but his actors didn't show up for. That's Steel Manville Road, I'm guessing. Plus whatever modifications he made based off this first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
This time the actors finally show up.
he makes money. He made money on the first movie, so yeah, he can afford to make the second movie, right? And then we can be on our way. I have to find the second movie for us to watch somewhere online. That's the one I can't seem to find. The third movie, I mean, the final chapter. Those are the two that aren't on Amazon for whatever reason.
Well, damn it!
I know, right? And I think
Well,
the making of is on YouTube.
Oh, There's a making of, eh? Just him fucking.
What?
So he shot the movie all by himself, and there's a making of did he just do a making of featurette of himself making the movie?
Making the first 3 movies. So
Okay.
it's the first movie plus Stanley and Bill Road, which has 2 people in it, and then the third movie, which I have no idea what's about. I haven't even looked into it. I don't care what it's about. I'm gonna watch it anyway, especially because I want to see him go. God damn it, some more potentially, because I think he's in that one. I know in one of the movies, someone said he walks out of the woods like just randomly, and that's how he's in the movie. So I'm waiting for that. Just we'll be watching some actors, and I don't know where he just walks out of the woods. God damn it! Oh my god. Yeah.
So I got some movies today
Oh yeah. What'd you get?
I could talk about. I got from the sale. It took this long for them to arrive from the American Arrow sale. I got Flash Gordon. Flash.
Ah. Boom, boom.
Yes. I've never really been a huge Flash Gordon fan, but it's such a nice release. And it came with the slipcover. So,
That's cool.
but you know what didn't come with the slipcover? Tremors.
Rip. There was no slipcover.
Oh, there was no slipcover?
No, it came in a box.
Oh. So you have to get the box for this? Okay.
Yeah, it came in the box with a book and a poster. A really nice box with that art on it. I like that new art they did a lot.
Oh yeah, I didn't change it because I like it.
I mean, I like the new art.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the original theatrical art a lot too. But because Tremors is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I have seen it hundreds and hundreds of times. I wore out more than one tape on it. I tracked down a fucking screener copy of the original Tremors on VHS just to have it as a collector's item. I still have that tape right over there in a box. One day I can show it off, but not right now. It's buried.
I got Bird with the Crystal Plumage
I
from my
don't think I even have that postcard. Damn. We gotta compare duplicates when we move in together and see what we need.
The postcard in here is Pitch Black.
Oh, very nice.
Goody Vidalies. Pathetic Earthlings, who can save you now?
A Dimension card was spotted in the wild, so it's confirmed Dimension's coming to Blu-ray via Arrow.
Ooh. Ooh. I like it.
And I've got the Blu-ray from Mill Creek, so I'm very excited.
These are probably the two. Well, I don't know. I might take part in the Vinegar Syndrome sale. I don't know. I haven't decided.
He's good enough.
I haven't decided. When is that Vinegar Syndrome sale, by the way?
I think May 5th.
May 5th.
I think.
What would you tell these people to look for in the Vinegar Syndrome sale?
Oh, I don't know. We pull up Vinegar Syndrome's website.
Suggestions.
First and foremost, I would say Death Promise.
What's that? Death Promise?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
It is a I'll read the blurb here. I don't think I give you justice.
Okay.
The residents of a dilapidated New York tenement building are being harassed and threatened by Iguana Realty, the dummy corporation which owns the land, in an effort to force them out of their homes. But when Karate Master Charlie's father is murdered by the group of hired thugs by the landlords, he decides to take matters in his own hands. And listening to the help of his best friend and fellow fighter Speedy, and driven by a desire for vengeance, they soon develop a plan to murder each board member of Iguana Realty. However, what they don't realize is that the final target is someone much closer to home. A genre-blending grindhouse classic that perfectly embodies the mid-'70s New York City lensed exploitation film aesthetic. Robert Warmflash's, that's his name, Robert Warmflash, Death Promise uses sublime sleaze from the beginning to end, starring Charles Bonnet, Don't Go in the House, alongside Speedy Leacock, stuntman, Thomas Cow Kang. Oh wow, it's like martial arts film language. Martial arts film legend. I can't speak. Tony Liu, who's in Way of the Dragon. I was just watching that movie. Vinegar Syndrome is proud to present the worldwide Blu-ray debut of Death Promise, newly restored in 2K from its original 35mm camera negative. This is a beautiful piece of Nanar cinema. It's so silly and wacky. I highly recommend this. It's a fun ride. The martial arts is, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just one of those movies where like you watch it and you're just filled with glee by whatever the hell you're watching. It's certainly something you never expected. I couldn't give you a proper fucking description really, because it's one of those kind of movies where you just watch it and you're like, these humans made this.
Is it so? It's one of those movies, then that you should probably watch with a friend, and you'll enjoy the hell.
Or
out of
several friends and some weed, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Next, I would say Fade to Black, which we watched not long ago. It was a really fucking good movie.
I have it within reach.
Do you?
I don't think I do.
Oh, mine's on my shelf. I just don't want to get it. There were 3 slipcovers released for this. I don't think any of them are in stock anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, I take it back.
Look at this.
That's the one that's still not stock, actually. I take it back.
This is the best one on it.
I really agree with that one, too. But there's going to be a standard release. There's plenty of those still here. So if you can't get that slipcover, don't fret. It's worth it. There's like 20 special features on this release. It's loaded. And it's also a new 4K restoration of the recently uncovered 35mm negative elements. So this is the best it'll ever look, probably. It is a slasher in the vein of like the character doesn't mean to kill his first victim and then, goes downhill after that those kind of slasher movies where you're feeling bad for the slasher the whole time because he's the main character. So it's more like it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just good shit. So yeah, there's a lot of like it's a film that's like it says here, it's a slasher film profoundly infused with cinephilia and old Hollywood iconography from its very first frame to its last, and I 100% agree with that. Yes, that was a good. It's a good fucking movie. I would say it's a really good double bill with Popcorn from Synapse Films, which is another kind of slashery film with Hollywood trappings. In this case, it's B-movie stuff and a film festival. But anyway, Fade to Black. Forgotten Jolly Volume 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, I think like those kind of go without saying, right?
Oh yeah, I need to get those.
Deadly Games, also known as Dial Code Santa Claus, aka 3615 Code Père Noël. What a masterful piece of art this is. The best Home Alone sequel that you've never seen. Prequel, yeah. It came out before Halloween. Or Home Alone, sorry. But there's just like a lot of weird imagery here. A lot of like, it's like this kid's stalked in this giant mansion that his mom owns, that he lives in, by a crazy person in a Santa outfit. And he lays like various traps for him and all sorts of other stuff. It's pretty zany movie, I would say. It's like Looney Tunes infused, I would say, actually. That's how to describe it. It's good shit. Seriously good shit.
I would also kind of call it, at least, what's the word? It's like hobo-exploitation, but not exactly.
Okay.
And so the character is like the character who plays the crazed lunatic Santa Claus is a homeless person.
Yeah.
So the whole hobos exploitation kind of crazed homeless person thing. I don't know if that's necessarily a genre, but I know it's been done in film.
I mean,
especially
it's definitely a running theme in horror films. You can make it its own genre. That's the thing about genre is it's very. You can go and make homo-exploitation. I'm sure that exists or whatever, right? Hobo-exploitation.
Yeah.
And you can go, if you find enough movies, like I'd say 3 to 5 movies that represent that genre, you've got It was under the canon of that film genre. The dungeon synth is the aesthetic. Same thing. It's based off a list on Letterboxd called Dungeon Synth. It's based off the music being played in a certain amount of movies, but I was inspired by that to make a genre called Dungeon Synth about shot on video fantasy films. So, anyway.
And by the way, you don't have to be afraid of homeless people.
They
Now,
don't. Unless they have dead hair doll babies. Yeah.
Exactly. There are some. There's only ever one that I ran into that creeped the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But like,
every now and then.
I have met thousands of people who are homeless, and they're just people without homes. Calm down.
Right? They're not crazy. Okay. They're not monsters. They're just.
They're not all whacked out on drugs.
They're not. They're not all mentally ill people. They're just people with bad luck. Just hard on their luck. It sucks.
Some are going to be mentally ill, but mentally ill isn't something to be afraid of either.
Mentally ill, and not in an unsafe way, I should say. You're right. There's nothing wrong mentally. I'm technically mentally ill. You're right. Anyway, beside the point.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to make it sound like I love these movies that make you afraid of homeless people. It's like no. Just pointing out it's a theme in some of these movies where they make the homeless person look like a dangerous, crazed lunatic.
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, sometimes it happens. Sometimes.
So also for the vinegar sale, I recommend The Caller, which we also watched.
Oh yeah, Malcolm McDowell.
Yes, Malcolm McDowell with a interesting ending that'll make you want to watch the movie again. I would actually say we should do a commentary for it someday. I think there's a lot to be said about most of the frames in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like it's very intricately framed and like plotted out, and then you can also understand our bafflement at why every room has knives on the wall. Every frame.
As you're watching it, like they don't really reveal the gotcha, so to speak, until the very end.
Last 3 minutes.
Most people watching this movie will not quite understand what's happening until the very end of the film. Mm-hmm. They really keep you strung along for that long. Mm-hmm. I think it's a good thing. I'm sure a lot of people were pissed off about that, but no, die mad.
Die mad, you salty bitch. All right, so next recommendation is an NR classic, Tammy and the T-Rex, the gore cut.
Fuck yeah!
What a gem of a movie this was. I grew up watching the MS3K episode of like the fucking regular cut, and it's it was a Howl a Minute commentary, but holy fuck, it's actually a Howl a Minute hilarious comedy when fully edited properly. And for some reason, I don't remember where they found I guess the unrated cut was available in Germany on VHS for a short while, so it's a very rare VHS at some point. So it was kind of known out there that it existed, but it wasn't until this Blu-ray that it's revelation. Like a movie's a completely different movie now in my brain. I could never go back and watch the other cut, I don't think. It's too watered down. There's no gore or anything. It's just bad jokes, and it feels like it's trying to be... It's like watered down because they're trying to cut out the content that would be inappropriate for kids, but like then they're making inappropriate jokes now. It's kind of weird. It's you have to watch the movie. It's good shit. Highly recommend it. There's a 4K and a Blu-ray. You can do either one.
Yeah. Very good movie. I liked it. It's cheesy as fuck in all the right ways.
Next, I would say Hell Comes to Frogtown. Another gem movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it at least once a year. Yeah.
Is that one actually still available? I looked in some
Yes,
place.
I believe so. Standard edition has over 1,000 left. The limited edition box is out. I have that because I pre-ordered that. Because of course I'm not going to miss that.
I still have the era release from years ago.
Yeah, I have the one that's even older than that. That was limited to 1,000. 1,000 pieces, and I paid $80 for. That was like 6 years ago. And then like 2 years ago, Hell Comes Around Town comes out on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. And between those two, they reissued Hell Comes to Frogtown without the booklet, standard edition. Originally, there was never going to be another reprint because it was a license issue. But they did finally. And then recommending Night Beast, which is probably
Night
Don
Beast?
Doller's best film. Someone argued that Galaxy Invader is fair, but all right. Amidst a dazzling meteor shower, the Night Beast lands near a small East Coast town, armed with his vaporizing ray gun and a goal of killing everyone who crosses his path. As area residents are blasted to smithereens, the local sheriff and an ever-dwindling group of survivors become determined to find a way to defeat the fearsome alien before their entire community is wiped out. This movie was released in 1982, which I think predates Predator by a few years. This was a monster in the woods, people trying to kill it was like a running theme in movies. I actually have a whole genre shelf on in my collection of like 12 movies in this subgenre that it's just Monster Wanders Wilderness. It's a dazzling display of lo-fi ambition from Baltimore-based cult filmmaker and underrated auteur Don Doller, an actual auteur. Aliens, he did Alien Factor, Fiend, Galaxy Invader, and like one other movie. Blood Massacre. Night Beast immediately plunges the viewer into a frenzy of wild, colorful, and stunning animation techniques, homemade gore effects, and awkward sexual encounters, made for a scant $14,000, featuring a soundtrack partially composed by then-teenage J.J. Abrams, yes, that one, from Star Trek and Star Wars. Vinegar Syndrome proudly brings the original sci-fi horror classic to Blu-ray in a brand new 2K restoration from its original 60mm camera negative. So, I actually have yet to watch this Blu-ray, but I bought the Blu-ray because I'm a big fan of Night Beast. I can hear echo, by the way, from you.
Here, I'll mute you on the stream. I have the stream open.
Ah, maybe that's what it was.
Alright, say something.
La 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 la. Ah, that must have been it.
Alright.
Because I don't hear me as now I'm much fainter. I'm still coming up, but it's like real faint. Next, the movie I'm trying to get Justin to buy, Uninvited, which is about a killer cat inside another cat. So, like, the cat attacks people, and when it does, it regurgitates a smaller killer cat that kills people. It's as ridiculous and weird as it looks, but it's also a movie with a killer cat, so. And everyone's stuck on a boat. So you're stuck with a cat.
Speaking of a killer cat.
My next recommendation would be Mausoleum, which is like a supernatural horror film about this family mausoleum. There's a lot going on in that movie. I would definitely gonna watch that with Justin one of these days, because I feel like he'd have some interesting things to say about it. Next, I would say Tiny Tim's only horror movie, Blood Harvest, would be a good one to watch. Wait, is it even in stock anymore? I think that was out of print. It's still standard edition, still 305 left. But Blood Harvest, so Tiny Tim plays the killer clown slasher in this movie. It was covered on The Last Drive-In, of course, as everyone who watches that would know. Oh, wrong button. Let's see here. Do you have any recommendations that you've gone? I'm sure you've looked.
No, I didn't look.
Oh, I see.
Let me see here.
I see.
That's
Are you gonna get Beastmaster ever?
Am I gonna get what?
Beastmaster?
Oh,
You cut out.
If I get anything, probably, yeah.
I also recommend Terror by Norman J. Warren. I have that movie. I saw it. It's really good. It's about this family who's like haunted by like a supernatural slasher film. It's a Is it a pro slasher? 1978. Nope, it's a slasher, but just barely. Uh, Norman J. Warren was an amazing director. Did like 8 or 9 like films. I have 5 of them in a box set. Highly recommend his movies. Which another one of his films is Prey. That one is like this alien, like okay, so these murderous lesbians who live together, and then this alien homoerotic. Sorry, not homoerotic. This is incredibly erotic alien shows up, and they start talking, and things get complicated. That's Prey, but it's by Norman J. Warren. I almost said Warren J. Norman. Which would have been wrong.
You guys should get all the Amityville movies. Actually, I would say one you need to get is the 4th one.
Yes.
Is that the Evil Escapes? I think it is.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Just for the ending alone.
That's also the last one with the house. Everything else is cursed object after that. I also recommend the Primeval Lurkers double feature. That's a double feature of Roberta Findlay films. She was the queen of the grindhouse. She has like 15 features under her belt. She is an amazing director that does not get enough love or enough discussion about her work.
They're putting out Patty Hearst too, or they put out.
Yep, they put Patty Hearst out, which I have not seen.
Which is a Paul Schrader film. I still need to see that too. I want to see that.
All right, so
now here's what I was actually thinking about watching because it's on Amazon. Grandmother's House. I don't know. We'll have to watch it and let you know if it's maybe something you should pick. It's on Amazon Prime right now, so.
My favorite slasher film's on here too. Slaughterhouse. I have a bit of history with the movie Slaughterhouse. 1 second. So, it's about Lester Bacon. Slaughterhouse is like running financial problems, and some people want to buy his land. He doesn't want to sell to them, and his son Buddy Bacon, who is an overweight, crazed person with a giant custom hatchet, starts killing all the people who've been trying to muscle their way into owning the property. And like, there's a scene when like the dad, my favorite scene, the dad finds, Lester Bacon finds some grisly kids, that Buddy cut up. He's like, "Oh God, boy, I get you a cleaver and you go and do this." Well, at least you make good, clean cuts. I was like, it's a comedy, it's a horror comedy, but it's such a weird tone to it. It's like definitely spun out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in many ways. So Slaughterhouse, highly recommended. One of my favorite films. I have the 88 Films release. I wanted to get the special split box from Vinegar Syndrome, but it's sold out before I could buy it.
What about Ice Cream Man?
Oh yeah, Ice Cream Man's fun stuff. That's got Clint Howard as a slasher film and a slasher in a ice cream van. This was a TNT classic back in the day. Monster Vision, it was on Monster Vision all the time. Fucking loved it.
That kid is making so much noise.
Yeah, it's okay. She's allowed to make noise. We allow it. She can make as much noise as she wants. She's a princess. Let's see here. Another recommendation for the Vinegar Syndrome sale coming up. Frightmare. This film is about it's an 80s slasher film with this guy. He's like a big name in horror films. He's kind of like a Vincent Price knockoff, and he dies. And then his quote unquote biggest fans in the world exhume his body for a party in which they and then he gets reanimated and kills them all one by one. It's a bit zany. It's 1981. I really enjoyed it, but it's campy. It's good stuff. That is Frightmare, one word. Also known as Horror Star. I usually the alternate cover horror star because I like that cover a lot. Let's see here. Can't recommend that movie. Not very good. Wow, I'm all the way to the end. I've talked about literally everything in their catalog that I am familiar enough to talk about. I think.
But you didn't mention Jack Frost?
Oh, you're right. I missed Jack Frost. What a great comedy horror slasher that one was. That is a role I wish Bruce Campbell would have done. He would have been amazing as Jack Frost. Not that Jack Frost isn't amazing. It's actually a really fun movie. It's set in this weird comic booky reality where things don't quite work like regular reality, and everyone's a little off key and a little kilter and a little weird. It's really, really, really fun though.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it too. I thought it was pretty funny for a variety of different reasons. It's very cheesy. I love that the town is called like Snowtown or something like that, like something ridiculous.
Snowmanton, I think, or Snowton, or something like that.
Snowman, yeah,
Snowman Town. That's what it was. Like when we spell it out. Snowman.
Oh my goodness.
Did I buy this? Oh, God damn it. Vinegar Syndrome, did I pay you money earlier in the month for this item?
Probably.
Thank you for your order. Homegrown Horrors, yes, and Grave Secrets, DSA. Both those titles I ordered already. So yes, I can in fact recommend, if you're interested in like cool TV horror films, Homegrown Horrors Volume 1 as I'm sorry, it's not direct TV, it's the regional horror films. They have Beyond Dream Store, which is a low budget apocalyptic horror film. And there is Winter Beast, which is a truly unclassifiable film that it's got like surreal dialogue and stop motion animation for the monster and homemade gore effects, and I covered that on Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Winter Beast is something else, and I can't wait to watch it again in HD because it's never been in HD before. Then there's Fatal Exam, which is a supernatural, ultra low budget supernatural slasher film. And it's by the same guy who did what was it called? I've lost it. I'm sorry. Jack Snyder is the director, but I can't remember. He did something else, and my brain just completely blanked on that. So it's like it starts off like a haunted house and turns into a slasher film. So it's kind of cool. I have seen this, but I saw it like such a long time ago that it'll probably be brand new to my brain when I watch it. But I pre-ordered that. It's $60, 3 movies. I think it's worth it. So yeah, that was her little primer for the Vinegar Syndrome sale. Good lord, I can't speak. I cannot speak it tonight. And yeah.
Even if you think you wouldn't like these movies, you should still give it a shot because, like, you're probably going to have fun with some of the ones we've mentioned. At least have fun with them.
Yeah.
And you really like.
I think we talked about most of the more accessible titles. I skipped over the ones that would be too weird.
Anytime you buy from Vinegar Syndrome, you know you're getting a really high quality product. They always have the best fucking transfers.
Absolutely.
I'm continually shocked by how good their transfers are.
Yeah, and they do like full restorations, and they usually have a buttload of extras for most titles. A few titles are a little bit lax, but I imagine those are just hard to
get slipcovers.
And they make the best slipcovers in the business, hands down.
Very strong, very nice.
And they're always like 2 different tones, a matte and a shiny, and they're textured often or raised. I mean, the slipcovers are always worth your money, and they're nice. But I really like the products. Even like it's at the point where like I've got most of the like slasher films. I got most of the popular titles, and I'm just like, this is a weird looking movie. I'll buy this one. Like that's where I'm at with their catalog. There's a few pro slashers I need to get, like Dear Dead Delilah and The Severed Arm. But like mostly it's like this weird movie and that weird movie. Like for me, I pulled aside Anatomy of a Psycho, which is a DVD with a double feature with The Lonely Sex, both done by it's like grungy grindhouse directors. But Anatomy of a Psycho is a proto slasher, and this is the only home video release of it. And I'm gonna get The Severed Arm, as previously discussed. It's a proto slasher. Then I get this Altered Innocence Volume 1, which is nearly 3 hours of LGBTQ and coming-of-age short films and music videos await you in the debut of Altered Innocence's cinematic mixtape Supreme. So this is a video mixtape, not unlike the AGFA video mixtape that was recently released, a horror show. I'm looking forward to it. And then I'm getting Dead Dear Dead Delilah, like previously discussed. Oh, and Hollywood Horror House, which is another proto slasher. So I'm grabbing some of those proto slashers. I'm grabbing because they are of the 7 proto slashers they have. I have 2 of them, and the other 2 that I don't have picked up have like more than 1,000 in stock, and these have less than 1,000. So I'm targeting the ones with lower stock numbers first. I want to get Spookies, but there's like 76 copies of Spookies left, so I will not be getting Spookies before it sells out. And I will just have to miss out on Spookies, which is a shame.
No, I'll just have to watch it by myself then.
I just can't afford it right now, and it's less than 100 copies in stock, which means it's probably not going to survive the end of the week. So, it's just the way it goes sometimes. Can't win them all. Can't get all of them. Can't own all of them. I will watch your copy. We'll probably do a show on him because it's such a bizarre film. I watched it in Best of the Worst. I watched part of it on Best of the Worst, obviously. And the way they talk about it, I think I'll enjoy the hell out of it because it'll be just one confusingly weird horror sequence after the other. Well, I think we've gone a requisite hour and a half here.
Yeah, I think
right?
we're about.
We're a little shy, but we'll be okay. But yes, consider perhaps buying. Sorry.
Sometimes less.
Sorry, what?
I said sometimes we have more to talk about, sometimes less.
This is true. Please consider buying something from the Vinegar Syndrome sale because they have some of the best releases of movies. Oh, it's here. Recently, when we picked up the Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars set, I thought of a different movie, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star from '83. It's also an HK film. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? I have winners. Yeah, I don't have Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Interesting. I'll have to look at that one up. Also a Hong Kong film, not part of the Stars, not part of the Lucky Stars series, I imagine. It's a sci-fi mix with a comedy and canto pop. Interesting. Well, I'll check it out. That sounds cool. It's right up my alley. Oh, do you have anything to add, my friend? Oh, actually, I want to talk about. You talked about the things you got. I got this.
Oh yeah.
This is David the Rock Nelson. Okay.
Do it.
This is David. This is a documentary called Rock. The Edward of the 21st Century is about a documentary about David the Rock Nelson, the man who had the name The Rock before The Rock did. He does these really low budget DIY shot on a cell phone, shot on a camcorder films. He has a whole series of them called Devil Ant, and he's got Werewolf and Frankenstein movies, and The Mummy, and all sorts of other things. And I think something like that called The Claw or something. Anyway, his films are really hard to get. And then you have to message him, and then he's got to burn a DVD for you. And this documentary contains one of his films and a short film of his. So it's got disc 1 is a 66-minute documentary with 3 special features. This is David's first film, an extended blooper clip from one of the films and some trailers. And Disc 2 has one of David Rock Nelson's features, Werewolf and the Witch. It's 150 minutes, including 4 separate segments around the film produced for the feature by The Rock. So he literally horror hosts his own movie.
Nice.
So I am like so stoked. I've been a follower of his on like YouTube. I've watched a few bootleg copies of his movies because that's how I've discovered him. I didn't know who he was before then. And then there was a Vice documentary about him, which is just yeah. And I fell in love with him at that point. But yeah, this is a limited edition digipack. I guess the film's limited. I bought it used, whatever. The other thing I got is I got Bill and Ted Face the Music. Well, yeah, that's a good movie. There's some problems with it, but it's not perfect. What I did get was interesting is The Other Side of Madness. This is from a film detective who has been doing a lot of public domain and like low, like really obscure releases for like DVDs, but a lot of burn on demand stuff. But recently, they have been like knocking out of the park with these crazy awesome editions. This is a new 4K restoration. I think it's 4K. It might be 2K. Anyway, it's a full restoration of the movie. And there's a documentary, The Other Side of Manson, the interview with the producers, Wade Williams. There's also original trailers for both theatrical releases of this movie. And there's a musical CD written and performed by Charles Manson himself. So this movie came out 9 months after the Manson trials, by someone who sat and wrote notes in the fucking courtroom and went out and made a movie.
Oh.
So there's also footage shot on Spawn Ranch before, when like a regular concept that was just filmed it's used in here. What I really like about it is it comes with this little mini replica of the Charles Manson record, like all the way down to the back liner notes. And the CD, of course, looks like a record.
Nice.
It comes with a booklet. This is like real, true exploitation, in that they are literally exploiting these murders that happened just prior to this movie's release. I mean, it's really exploitative, and some people will find the subject matter gross, but it's definitely the grimiest movie, one of the grimier movies I own. But I can't find it streaming anywhere other than the not great quality YouTube rip out there. I wanted to see it in good condition, and this is a full restoration. So, and if I remember correctly, it is not a burn disc. Nope, it's a printed disc, manufactured disc. So I have a few of the titles now. I have The Giant from the Unknown, which is about a giant undead conquistador, and I have Fist of Death, which is like a Bruceploitation film. That's actually a limited edition release that I got. And I also have the Bat and the Bucket of Blood releases, which are manufactured on demand, are Blu-ray Rs. Those were sent to me by a viewer. So I've got like 5 releases by them, and I like them.
That looks like a really nice release. So, yes, I would say they are probably pretty good releases.
$26. $26. Cost me a lot.
It's kind of what you release nowadays.
But like that's the thing, $26 for a small label to release a high quality release with special features. You know, I wish there was a commentary. It's like an only complaint for a lot of releases. Is please spend the $500 to pay someone to do a commentary, please. If not, pay me $500. I'll do the commentary. Like shit. Anyway, so I think that's it. That's everything I got this week. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really.
All right. We will see you next week for another episode of Couch Tomatoes, 8 p.m. Pacific time, right here on this channel. Take it easy, everyone. Bye.